Picture a cold night. You've gathered wood, built a crackling campfire, and roasted hot dogs. You're sitting there, rubbing your hands together, enjoying the heat. Now imagine taking a leftover piece of that exact same firewood, gluing some googly eyes on it, standing it up in the dirt, and saying, "You are my creator." It makes no sense. You just used half of the log to cook your dinner and keep your toes warm, and now you're bowing down and asking the other half to save your life? It sounds like a modern comedy sketch, but thousands of years ago, God pointed out this exact same behavior in the biblical book of Isaiah. By comparing a supposed God to everyday firewood, the text highlights a simple truth. If you can burn it, you can chop it, or build it yourself. It cannot possibly be the creator of the universe. Back in ancient times, it was common practice to carve statues out of wood, stone, or metal and pray to them. These were known as idols. The book of Isaiah describes the grueling physical toll of making them. A blacksmith would hammer iron over hot coals until his arms ached, completely exhausting himself just to shape the metal. A carpenter would cut down a cedar tree. Just like our campfire, he would use half the wood to bake his bread and warm himself by the fire. Then he would take the leftover block, carve it into a human shape, bow down, and pray to it. He was asking for help from a piece of wood with carved blind eyes that couldn't see or hear a thing. Isaiah points out that nobody stopped to apply simple logic to this. Trusting a leftover piece of kindling to save you requires a completely closed, deluded mind. A real creator exists far above our human limitations. If people have to chop, hammer, and sweat just to manufacture their own God, that object holds zero actual power. Isaiah chapter 45 introduces the true God in complete contrast. He is described as the first and the last, the sole maker of everything that exists. He didn't need tools or a workshop. He stretched out the vast starry sky and mapped out the entire earth completely by himself. To explain God's interaction with the world, the Bible pictures a potter working wet clay. The potter's hands perfectly guide the material's shape. Imagine how ridiculous if the clay told the potter, "You have no hands," or complained about the bowl it became. We are that clay. God is the master builder of the universe, and we are the material he carefully designed. Because he is the one who formed the earth and everything on it, he inherently holds the wisdom to direct the purpose of our lives. A creator who builds the universe from scratch also knows the future. He directs history much like a master storyteller mapping out a script. He promised his people, Israel, that their ruined cities would be rebuilt, and that their offenses would be swept away like a morning mist. To prove he was writing this story, God provided specific details. Long before it happened, he announced by name that a foreign king, Cyrus, would be the one to rescue his people. Cyrus didn't even acknowledge the God of Israel, yet God guided him to break down bronze gates, defeat mighty nations, and eventually set the captive Israelites free. It is a striking difference. Ancient people had to load their heavy wooden idols onto weary animals just to move them around. The true God doesn't need to be carried. He carries and protects his people. This means you never have to cross your fingers, wish on a star, or rely on a lucky object. The massive creator who formed the universe loves you and is always listening. True security is never found in powerless things we can build with our own hands. It comes strictly from trusting the living God who writes the entire story.